talked about recoding, we understand completely that we are wired in a specific way. And the wiring causes us to be able to deliver the results that we deliver. In order to change the results, we have to change the way we're wired, the way we do life, the way our habits guide us, our paradigm drives us. We need to reprogram our subconscious mind, and that we refer to as recoding. Today, we will focus more so on mind reset. But let me tell you, when you're about ready to change, it is a place of complete discomfort. So many people do not change because you run right back to what's comfortable. And you may be way down the road in changing and then may pause and run right back to what you're familiar with, your familiar self, your old self that gave you the old results, that made you frustrated, that caused you a lot of pain. But sometimes we get comfortable with the struggle and we get comfortable with the pain. And so we run back right into the struggle and the pain because we're already familiar with it. I want to say to you this morning, I'm not here to teach you anything. I am not here to be able to give you motivation. I am here to ask you to confront your old identity and allow it to dismiss itself to breathe life into the beautiful, amazing future that you have ahead of you the moment you choose to. I'm going to share some slides with you this morning because I do believe that so many of us learn so many different ways. And one of the ways that we feel is most effective is allowing you the privilege of walking with us as we navigate through these slides. Okay. You cannot carry yesterday's identity into tomorrow's life. We're very, very sure of that. We cannot. The version of you, that version of you that survived, is not always the version of you that can lead. Old emotional patterns will keep taxing your future if you keep protecting them. You do not need another breakthrough moment. You do not need another breakthrough moment. What you do need is a clean internal break. Day 3 is the moment we dive deep into shifting. We stop sounding good and start, what is this costing me? What is this costing me? Ask yourself, what is this, in fact, costing me? What is staying my old self costing me today? What will it cost me tomorrow? You know, I used to work at an investment company in New York, and we had key cards to get into the building. And if you were on certain floors, your key card would not work because you were not allowed on that floor. It was an investment company. Sensitive information, can't get to certain floors. Now, if you change the floor that you're working on, your key card changes to get access to that particular floor. Now, my key card changed because I gained access to a different floor, but I went to work with the old access card. And of course, there's no way I could get on the floor. So I had to go to security, did a whole rigmarole of background checks, and then was issued a temporary card for that particular day. Here's the deal. When you're ready to make a new move in your life, when you're ready for something greater, the old card has to be changed for you to have access to the bigger, richer, more fulfilling life that you want. Yes, it does need to be changed. A new life cannot be led by an old self. Don't for any reason think that that is possible. It's not going to happen. It won't, never did, and never will. Now, the real weight of the change is not the work. It is who you become while avoiding that work. Who do you become while avoiding that work? The emotional cost of avoidance. Avoidance is not protecting you. It really isn't. What it is doing is having you build up all of this emotion inside of you that makes you feel even more inadequate. So avoidance doesn't allow you to gain access to your greater life. It distorts your view and leave you ultimately frustrated. Every moment, we talked about that yesterday, every moment of hesitation is you wiring your neurological system, your wiring your brain to do exactly that. It is a trained habit. Your brain is being trained to avoid. And once you consistently do that, it becomes a part of who you are. You start putting off stuff. Then we're going to continue to look at the slide. Avoidance teaches hesitation. What you avoid becomes your authority, and hesitation learns to lead. So now you're wiring your brain to be able to hesitate. And now that starts leading the way you do life. And of course, the longer the pause, the longer the wait, yourself now start feeling totally betrayed. Brilliance exists, but avoidance severs you from your own power. Think on those thoughts. Now, when you're about to make a change or move from who you are to who you want to become, it is similar to grieving. And grief is often hiding beneath your resistance. Exploring the emotional roots of resistance allows you, this grieving person you become. The shift deepens when you name it as grief and not confusion. So we often said, I'm confused. I don't know exactly why I'm not getting the results I'm getting. I don't know exactly why my relationships are not exactly how I want them to be. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what is really going on. But deep underneath that is grief and not confusion. But it gets better. You cannot heal a pattern you keep romanticizing. Challenging and glorifying of your struggle doesn't make it romantic. The next level of your life demands brutal honesty. That's exactly what you did. When you focused on doing your results audit, you had to be brutally honest with yourself to understand exactly where you were and how you could move forward from that. Your next level of life demands brutal honesty, and it also demands the cost of your old identity. The old you that is frustrating your progress, the old you that keeps you trapped in your financial situation, the old you who has been searching for peace to find a way through. The old you that's pretending, that's an imposter, pretending as if everything is okay, when deep inside you're really eating up and wanting a different way. The old you. Not all hardships. Not all hardships build strength. There's a song that says, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. But really, not all hardship gives you strength. Some of it only shrinks you. Many of us, when we're going through hardship, we tend to not show up. So if you're in a clique or you're in a group, you tend to not show up. You don't go to places where it will spotlight the fact that I am holding on to my old self and I'm resisting change to experience the growth and the life that I truly desire. The identity gap is often emotional, before it's behavioral. So your identity gap becomes emotional before it becomes behavioral. You can know the strategy and still reject the standard required to live it. The split is not between you and success, it's between your current self and the next self. The split, that gap, is between your current self, who you are the old self, and the next self. The emotions will keep pulling you backward if your self-concept still belongs in the past. So if your self-concept, if what you're believing, we call that praxis when we believe things with behavior. Now you will want something, but your old you has not given permission for you to have that thing. What we're doing here is creating a path where you allow the old self to have its space while you develop the new you worthy of all the dreams and desires that you want. It is important to understand that you want clarity in the process of changing and becoming the individual that you truly desire to be. Who do you choose to be? If your old self is not giving you the results that you want, if your old self is not guaranteeing you the level of success that you desire, who do you now choose to be? And it's necessary to have complete clarity when we walk that path, when we settle down to reflect on what it is that we want from here on. There are times in our lives we get to a place where we say, I've just had it. I really have. And something's got to give. Something has to change. And we pause. But we must be very clear on what we want the change to look like. We don't have to know how to make the change happen, but we do need to know what we want it to look like. In my work with my clients, we focus on scripting what it is that we want our life to look like over the next years. And we often talk about the fact that we plan vacations, we plan our days, and sometimes our days are automatic based on, our days are automatic based on your programming. You'll find yourself doing the same things every single day. But do you pause to plan your life? What will your legacy look like? Will it be a series of starts and stops? Will it be a series of you refusing to let go of your old self to allow the new to take you on a beautiful journey of personal fulfillment and growth and self-actualization? Will you? Will you? Will you? The identity cap is emotional before it's behavioral, and it describes your internal conflict between your current and your future self. So here you are. This is what's going on inside, and it's not easy. All of your system, everything is wired to operate a certain way, and here you are pulling it in a whole different direction. So I want to let you know that it's not easy, and that it's in that same mindset why it's so difficult for some people to make a decision, torn between, sitting on the fence. Should I do it? Should I not? Can I have it? Can I not? Is it too big? Is it too small? So, in order to be able to move forward, you have to be totally clear as to exactly what you really desire. I have been here. I still remember the pain of indecision. Sometimes it comes with crying your heart out because you're afraid to leave your old self and move into uncertainty. That's what we call it, the common sense effect. But your old self is no longer capable of delivering the results that you truly want for your new life. The old keys cannot open the doors of your new home. A decision is necessary to move forward into your higher self. You were not born for struggles or to become acclimated to struggles. You were born to navigate them, but you weren't born to live with them. Your identity shouldn't be tied to your struggles. We must stop romanticizing our struggles. And the effortless way is by becoming the person who already has the kind of success that you're looking for in a holistic way, kind of success you're looking for in your relations. Who do I need to be to have harmonious relationships? Who do I need to be in order to have a significant increase in my income? Who do I need to be to navigate my career with purpose, passion, and joy? Who do I need to be in order to experience health? Who do I need to be to have experience happiness, emotional well-being? Who do I need to be to experience true spiritual growth? That individual is calling you and has been in every moment that you question how to move forward. Every moment that you're seeking the how, Your new identity has been calling you for quite a while. Don't mistake it for struggle. See it as a calling to be your best self, the self that you were created for. The next level requires internal alignment. Once more, not more information. We're calling you to align you with your ambitions, align you with your goals. When you align you with all of that, what you have is an opportunity to enjoy life the effortless way. That's when you start radiating success. When you join success in the vibration where it resides, then and only then. Why does the 360-degree method exist? Why are we here? It is not theory. It really is not theory. Elite leaders get to the position where they're bumping again their head against the glass ceiling over and over again. They've accomplished great exploits. They have had massive accolades. And then here they are for the next level. And the next level cannot seem to appear because they keep bumping their head. And after a while, when you keep bumping your head, you think that is it. I'm reminded of my neighbor. He had a dog that he wanted to stay in certain boundaries in his home. So they wouldn't go, the dog wouldn't come over to our home and it wouldn't go to the neighbor on the right or on the left. And they had an electronic wiring in the ground. And whenever the dog got there, he stopped. And so that dog didn't move between the boundaries of those wires. Roof, roof, moment he gets there. Roof, roof, the moment he gets there. And his owner was quite assured that there's no way, of course, he would get over to anybody's he will keep within his boundaries. And then he moved the wiring from underneath the ground. And that dog would get to the same spot. And if I'm in my driveway, he would go, roof, roof. He would not pass the same spot. He was in the boundaries. He was contained in that boundary. There's no place for containment for you. The power is that you have the ability to break through any glass ceiling. And the way you do so is by becoming the person worthy of the desires and the ambition that you have that can pull you through any glass ceiling. Because now you're vibrating at the level of that, of the goal that you desire. Let me take a moment to quickly share the value of that with you. We'll wrap it up in a minute. When we set a goal, we are trained to believe, get this here for you. When you set a goal, we know for sure where we are. So if you are here, you think on this vibrational level. You think here, think right here on this level. So when you set a goal, you tend to, well, you always use the level of thinking The same thoughts, the same ideas surrounding right here where you are. That's why you are there. You are familiar with everything here. You have total familiarity. It's like learning to write a check, and you know how to do that. You know how to drive. So that's where you reside. And the reason you reside there is because all of your thinking resides here as well. Now, when you set a goal, that goal, we're taught that the goal resides somewhere else, which is in fact true. It resides on a different level of vibration. So you're on this vibration, your goal resides on this vibration. Now we're taught to chase after up here to get to the goal. So we're always on a chase. We got to get up here. Running, 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 running. We accomplish some obstacles and we come back down here and then we start running again, and it seemed to go, up and down and up and down. We just keep going. And then we might finally get here. Then we get here and we have a challenge there, and we tend to sometimes come back down here where we are most comfortable. Hence the reason why people have major successes and then get right back to where their identity lies. So your identity lies here. You force, you push, you pull, you tug, you pull a little harder, and you get up here and you hit the goal. Yeah, I nailed it. Made the goal happen. But your identity does not live here. And so you cannot stay there because your identity will always call you back here. You cannot outperform the image you hold of yourself, but you can most definitely change it. So when you got here, you change it through friction and through what we call willpower. Forced it up there. But you cannot attain something here if it's not in alignment with who you really are. The goal is to get in alignment with who you really are so that your efforts, your desire, your win become effortless. Call it the effortless way. So how do we do that? My clients ask me all the time, so Melva, how do I stay there? Now, if I have a radio and my radio is on 1010, I'm going to get the dial from 1010. If it's not on 1010, I cannot expect to get something on a different dial. So you, in return, needs to be on the dial where your success resides. Your identity has to match the success that you desire. So don't expect 107 to come out of a 1010 frequency on your transistor radio. Nor should you expect that in your life. So let me wrap it up here. In order for you to be able to attain the level of success at this level, you have to move you, the individual, to reside where the success resides. So you must become the person who is operating at the level of your success. If you continue to maintain who you were yesterday, the old self, you will continue to go back to the old self. You must now wire yourself, reset your mind to operate as the winner that you are at the frequency that your goal is. And here is the joyful, exciting news. When you get here, all things associated with it, all the vibrational energy, all the experiences, dormant forces, and faculties come alive to join you because you're on the frequency. Your goal is to get on the frequency. And that is why we say you don't go after a goal. You work from the goal. You put yourself there. You feel it. You see it. You dress like it. You act like it. You walk like it. You talk like it. And ultimately, you live the experience of that successful individual. You show up as, and you radiate success. What do I mean, radiate success? Everything that you need for the frequency that you're on is already there. You do not have to push, you do not have to shove, you do not have to fight, you do not have to spend endless nights wondering why you're not getting to your goal. You know you're not getting to your goal because you are not on the frequency where the goal resides. Your identity has to match the goal that you want, or you will be bouncing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You'll go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and finally get right back here. Same income, same career opportunity at the same level year after year, restarting, then blaming, then pointing fingers, then, of course, frustration. Then you start being upset with everybody else, and then there's jealousy and there's shame and all of the above. You do not have to live that way. You can truly make a decision to reside at the frequency where your goal is. Your life become one of complete peace. I live that right now. And I also remember this. I remember this. I remember this. And I chose not to live that way anymore. And in the process, the whole world has opened. So many opportunities. So many opportunities has come my way. Books I've written. Enormous amount of people that I've had connections with. My entire environment has changed. My life is beautiful. My children are happy. My relationships are harmonious. My income is ever increasing. I love my careers and all the other streams that I've had the privilege of being introduced to. Joy resides here. All the frenzy that happens in between this space, this void right here, has left. And I can at any given time pause, visualize, meditate, and feel complete gratitude for the life that I now live. And I want that for you and so much more. When you change, when you move to the identity, you become the person that already has the goal. Your life will be free, fulfilled, harmonious, and you love yourself even more. I'm going to challenge you today. This is day 3. And I know day 3 is sometimes one of the most challenging because it's a day that we have to shed all of the burdens of and step into a new you. It's not easy, but it sure is worth it. The shift becomes real when your standards stop negotiating. Leave day 3 different, not inspired. A shift is only real when it leaves evidence. Today, you make one decision, just one, that proves your transformation has begun. Make one decision today, only one, that proves that you're willing to step into the person who already has the goals that you're currently seeking. Have a beautiful morning and be blessed.